Okay, we are recording, and yep, I see the file there. I hadn't opened up the folder yet to see it, so anyway, continuing and going medieval. Although I probably will open up another game later. It'll make sense. That'll definitely be a ranty portion. The part that explains it will be a ranty portion of this. Yeah, so I actually had things to talk about this week. One was actually from last week, because I didn't see the news until afterward. Satisfactory 1.0 is going to be releasing September 10th, which is definitely cool, though I've not played that game for a while. I have it, and I really enjoyed it. I just haven't played it for a while. Okay, so yeah, that is working. I don't really remember what it is I want to be doing. I'm glad I figured that out. Because that should also mean that that's secure. What do I have for a limestone block? Not that much. That's in here. Yeah. Oh, they're just not working on that. What would that be? Would it be crafting? No, let me do that. Let's see what happens. Oh, I also just remembered one thing. We haven't had an update for a bit. Although, hang on. Yes. Okay. Now, there was a patch to the experimental branch, and it was just like, hey, I reported that one bug that technically is really small and, like, would take a minute to fix. But I wanted to look to see. Okay, so somebody has been working on those. Yeah, so Satisfactory 1.0, that will be neat. And we'll see if I may try to put more time to it. I actually put a Dyson Sphere project, whichever that is, onto the laptop and have been messing around in that, which I do not find as enjoyable as Satisfactory, but it still is. I do want to actually try going through it. And man, I can have such criticism of that. Sorry, the concept of a Dyson Sphere is one I really dislike for very specific reasons. Not that they aren't interesting, it's just there is so often when I see them presented, including that game, there's just an aspect to the design that's not how that will work. That's not how that could ever work. But Satisfactory was a lot of fun. It just kind of slipped away from me, and also the move to Unreal Engine 5 for it has hurt my interest because I don't know how much I want to do that on my desktop, since enough things are older on my desktop. Mainly, it's like, yeah, it's an RX 580, which is still an awesome GPU. Don't ever think it's not. But it's just, that's not an Unreal Engine 5 GPU. And I think I also have the game either installed on a SATA SSD or a SATA hard drive. Don't remember which. So I could do it on the laptop, and I have. It's just not exactly most comfortable. A game with this kind of camera is a bit more comfortable on a laptop for me than a first-person game like that. Like Satisfactory. But still, I'm looking forward to it, and yeah. Okay, I want to skip over that because that's a ranty thing. Yeah, so a couple AMD things. One I did put into the Friday news write-up, and another I didn't. Partly that's, I want to see more than one source, and I did try looking. It's like, it was a tech power-up thing that I saw. I find it curious that I would expect Anantech to also cover it, but I didn't see anything from them. But Anantech has definitely changed over the years. Anyway, the one thing, though, that I did cover is... Oh, well, no, not yet. I don't want to do that yet. Is AMD has released... I'm gonna try to, like, extend the workshop area up a floor. There. They have released the Fidelity FX SDK 1.0. Sorry, 1.1. That has various updates in there. One that's really neat is the Brixelizer GI, which is... I don't remember what the Brixelizer is exactly. It is something for, like, building up mapping for lighting. Seriously? What the hell? Why? Well, go to bed if you're sleepy. If you're exhausted. I don't... It's like, you get as much sleep as I... Or do you demand more? Because I know there are some like that. Okay. So then he actually should be more like that. There. They really should mark on here, dusk and dawn. Anyhow. Yeah, with Brixelizer GI, it is a compute-based global illumination system using the data that the Brixelizer... Because Brixelizer AMD has had for a bit, but he uses that data to build global illumination. But it is compute, so it's got the advantage of not requiring specialized hardware. Because that's one thing that I just so am annoyed by NVIDIA. NVIDIA is so convinced the world that you need specialized hardware for various things, but it's like, nah, we've been doing that without such specialized hardware for a while. Or at least it is possible to do without such specialized hardware. But they make you think, no, it can only be done this way. It's like, no, we can do it other ways. What? Why? Hang on. It said... Nope. Would you mind explaining... Oh, there isn't a wall there yet. That's probably the reason why. Yeah, let's... No, not that. Turn crafting back down. Let's turn construction up. So now they should actually do it. But the other thing that they talked about that is probably what most people would be like, oh, that's so cool, or whatever, is the new SDK does include FSR 3.1, which they've made some updates to that to make it better. But one in particular that they did, and I want to say they had said they were working on it previously, it's like, now we actually have the 3.1 version. So FSR 3 is when they introduced their frame generation, or actually, it was neat. GPU Open was actually referring to it as frame interpolation, which is more accurate. Technically, frame hallucination would be the most accurate, but they didn't go to that. It's alright, I guess I can't fault them for that. Though it is the accurate, the correct term, I can understand plenty of people being like, yeah, let's not describe it that way. Doesn't sound good. But, that is what it is. Let's see. Can we get that? Why? It really needs to say why you can't place it. Um, even without that, I might as well try to... The heck? Oh. There. Sorry, I just... Almost... Yes, I'm gonna move the sewing up here. That is nonsense, but whatever. Alright, winter, cap, summer, white hat, and then still $3. There. Actually, wonder... Like, would that even... Well, no, that, I shouldn't do it that way because of that. I'll just put down the chest. And move that there. I'll move the other chest up here as well. Anyway, sorry. The main thing with FSR 3.1 that's neat, and I think that they had said they were going to do it before, and they actually... I just don't remember when that announcement was. They would be doing it versus when they actually did do it. Is they've decoupled the frame upscaling from the frame generation. So what that means is technically you could actually use like DLSS to do the upscaling and then use FSR 3 for the oh, that's... Oh wait, no, I know. I can do that. There, too. That'll be nice. Anyway, hang on. I think that's how I want that. Okay. So yeah, in theory you could use like DLSS, or you could use XeSS for the upscaling, or a developer could use their own solution. There. Oh yeah, that's right. I wanted 3 more of these. But yeah, so that decoupling is definitely interesting. Because in theory, then I would think you could also have that configured where it doesn't use any upscaling at the same time. Instead, it would just trying to think. I mean, this would match what that is, but then you have that gap. Well, yeah, let's do that anyway. I just don't know what else I may want to put up here either. The apothecary would actually make more sense. But moving some of this stuff in would also not be a bad idea. In theory, you might be able to do without any upscaling. Some may try to argue, oh, but you need the upscaling to get the information. It's like, yeah, these would be the same people that were saying that the driver couldn't pull motion vectors to do the stuff. And it's like, AMD's done that too, because it's like, you think the driver doesn't have access to the information? Why are you unhappy? Okay, he just doesn't like his schedule at the moment. Should be that. Yeah, cool. Yeah, so it will be interesting to see what comes of this 1.1 and what people end up doing with the whole thing having my brain turned off again. I'm sorry, it just having it decoupled. Alright, but yeah, so the thing that I saw from Tech Power Up that I didn't put into the Friday news thing, at least not yet, and I don't think I will, because I'm not sure fully what to make of it, is at least supposedly AMD is looking to become more of a, wow, there's a lot of stuff down. Oh, jeez. I may need to expand this out again. One, two, three, four, five, six. 3, 4, 6. So construction kind of hot. So that will get done quickly. Oh wait, no, because that's mining, isn't it? And mining's low. Anyway, although I actually can turn down construction. But yeah, supposedly AMD is going to pivot to do more software. Yeah, I really do not know. I mean, unless it is just it hates that, which is possible. Oh, and I just realized that's going to take construction. So yeah, they might be pivoting to have more of a focus on software than just hardware, which is, I don't doubt. Okay, yeah, that's all. Which I mean, I don't doubt that we won't see like their hardware suffer. It's more of a you do need solid software, and that they want to make sure that they have that. I think that is a better way of looking at it. I don't think there's any reason to ever try to like turn this into something. That done. Let's turn up mining, so that'll get done. Oh yeah, that's right. I had actually thought about that, didn't I? Yeah, I'd rather the apparel be there, if that is an option. Actually, where are they? Take. I gotta think about it. Oh, I'd forgotten that I'd done that. There. Something like that. Although, well, yeah, that actually is true. If I make that wardrobes instead, that is technically still denser. It's not a great trade-off, but it still is technically better. Oh, I can't. Well. There. Also, the pivot towards software makes a lot of sense because yeah, that's because with so much focus being on AI is completely software driven, and this kind of how I was saying that NVIDIA annoys me so much because they've convinced people that you need specialized hardware for certain things. AI is one of those would be an example of that would know that can absolutely be done without specialized hardware. It's like they've convinced people you need tensor cores to do all manner of AI, and that is false. Some, yes, absolutely, some you do need that, but there's plenty of AI that in no way requires that. Just the highly parallel but relatively simple mathematical capabilities of okay. No. There. Of GPUs are perfect for it. Okay, that did get built, so I will do that. So AMD shifting to more software makes sense. I would think of I can think of it as they genuinely do believe that AI is enough a part of the future that doing that is going to be a good idea. One thing I do appreciate Tech Power pointing out, because it is very true, they didn't point out something. Well, they kind of did, but not very specifically. AMD has an advantage over NVIDIA, and technically over Intel as well, in that AMD has a much, much broader base of IP. So what that translates to is there's simply a lot of stuff that they can work on. So, for example, AMD has NVIDIA just has GPUs. NVIDIA also NVIDIA has just GPUs. AMD also has CPUs. So that allows them to leverage things there that NVIDIA cannot, because they don't have the hardware connections, they don't have the experience there. Also, AMD has the different AI-focused accelerators, thanks to them having purchased companies like Xilinx. And I think they also just did do work on like FPGAs and such even before that. So yeah, FPGAs are neat. Oh yeah. That. Actually, do kind of want to do that. I'll do it this way, and then the weapon rack there. Oh, you know what? That I think I like that. So I'll basically have this mirrored over here, and then I have got more of an open area right here. My brain just turned off partially again. I'm just trying to like run through what do I remember saying. I know I did say the whole, I think this just indicates AMD does believe in AI being the future, or at least their future. They have a collection of IP that does make them very well positioned for various things. And no, Intel doesn't really compete with them on that same level. Because it doesn't have the GPU experience yet. They are working on that. They are certainly working on that. But that is not they're not at AMD's level yet. They want to be. And it's because of AI, ironically. So yeah, it will be interesting to see what will come of some of that. Alright, how long have I been going? I only have an hour. So yeah, so this should definitely help with. But nothing's getting moved. Though I might be able to force the issue if I do that. Yep, there it goes. Although I don't know where they're taking any of it. What the heck just happened? I really should just, like, make a dedicated wood area, I feel like, because there's so much here. Maybe also the linen cloth. Wait, Oh, some of the stuff is just empty. Why is some of this empty? Anyway. Okay. So it shall be spring once dawn hits. Let me just look at my notes. Oh yeah, I guess that is also worth mentioning. That even if AMD does very much shift to doing software, focusing on software, I doubt that their hardware will suffer at all. In fact, it may get better because of the... Like, if you got somebody working on the software that's like, hey, it'd be really nice if we had this capability hardware guy. What do you think? It's like, oh yeah, I think we can do that. I mean, you will potentially see internal relationships like that. That should prove beneficial. And that's, like, if it is, hey, there's something specific we want to achieve here. Like how there's dedicated hardware, even in the consumer parts that you buy, that are actually only there because, and this is true for Intel, AMD, and NVIDIA, some of the stuff is only there because they have a customer that will buy stuff in bulk that wants it. So, like, AVX 512 is not a great example of this, but let's use that as an example. No consumer needs that. Right? I mean, so that really is not something consumers need. But because, like, Amazon and its servers want it, it's in there. Because Intel knew that if they had that there, Amazon would buy it up. So they just have it in there always because it makes it easier then to satisfy an order to Amazon. That will make them a lot more money than selling it commercial, than just selling it for consumers. Sad reality of that, but that is how a lot of it works. But who knows? You might see that because of better understanding of the software and better development of the software, you might see some of that stuff become more exposed for the user. Because it's like, hey, we might be using them more. They might come up with software that takes full advantage of it or better advantage of it. It's kind of like, was it Power Color that showed something off at Computex where they hooked up a neural processor to a GPU? Not entirely sure what it is that they did, but my guess is that they basically had it monitor the load so it would dynamically undervolt, because there was some loss of performance, but it was minimal compared to the like 27% drop I want to say it was in power utilization. And the thing is that kind of work makes sense to have something that tries to adapt the voltage use better and more intelligently than just what's normally there. You know what? I'm actually gonna do that. Just get that done. So who knows? Maybe that's something they could integrate into drivers, or maybe be like, hey, we'll start putting NPUs on our GPUs specifically to do this. It's like that. That's not unreasonable that would happen. Because I mean, it allows improved performance, especially improved efficiency. I mean, improved efficiency just helps in many ways because it can improve performance. Because if the device is remaining cooler, then that can allow it to run better. Undervolting has shown that over the years. There's wow, that finally just taking stuff down. I wanted to take them down for so long. I really should build like a wood hut. I know that's what I wanted to actually try building a great hall. What the hell does that mean? One large table, medium table, 6 chairs of stew, 8 banners, any of that stuff, 4 torches of altar. I think I would want to build it here. Is there a size for it? Space area 50. Yeah, sure. They really should give double doors at some point. I need large table. And so many chairs. What else? 4 torches of... Well, yeah, I gotta put those in anyway. Banners. I don't even know if I have those. Um... I mean, I gotta use it for something, so... There. No, there. There. I'm gonna need to put a roof on this thing as well. But I kind of want to actually make it like too tall. It's supposed to be a great hall, right? So let's do that. And I know there's like no way for some of that to be reached, but whatever. I'll deal with it a little later. They really should add buttresses at some point, especially flying buttresses. That'd be so neat. There. Yeah, what are they even complaining about for this? Yeah, okay. That I'm not concerned. Okay, so construction is high enough. Craft I may need to turn. There. Yeah, so once that finishes, it should be good. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else with the whole AMD software stuff. I guess one thing to add that it is kind of funny and annoying to me is AMD has had very good software for a very long time. It's not as good as some people may want in the ways and places they want it to be, but it is still like AMD has had ATI to go back further. It's had certain software stuff for a long time that people I think don't realize, don't remember. Like one example is it was called Fire Rays under ATI. AMD kept that name for a little bit, then changed it to Radeon Rays. It was a GPU compute solution for ray tracing. AMD had ray tracing for a very long time, but NVIDIA is the one that everybody credits with this. As far as having the dedicated hardware for it, yes, but we had accelerated ray tracing for many years, thanks to AMD. Somebody else, they did point out in the Tech Power Up thing, and this I do appreciate. They could have pointed out some other stuff too. AMD actually had a solution for tessellation before NVIDIA did. They mentioned it was actually a couple generations before NVIDIA. But it wasn't until Microsoft finally put together DirectX 11 with ray tracing that came to mean anything. And that, the way the TPU article is kind of written suggests that NVIDIA's connections with Microsoft helped it, because that meant helped that happen, because NVIDIA could basically say, hey, do this. Okay, that's fine. That's on the low with that. But AMD also had some anti-aliasing stuff well before NVIDIA. But again, it never got used. It wasn't really exposed. Because like if you look back at my series statistics, the aliasing adventure, one thing that is mentioned in there is the ability to program in where the sampling points are for aliasing, anti-aliasing. That was in AMD's software going back to like the R9 300 series, I think. Well, it may have been 200 series. It's quite old, but it was like there was only ever a OpenGL shader made that would take advantage of that. Wasn't set up with DirectX, but that is actually in DirectX. I'm trying to remember. Yeah. I actually have the files on here. Let me. I've been thinking about maybe trying to like record the Here we go. Okay. Like do a recording of the presentation, put that up somewhere. But yeah, so with DirectX 10.1, standard sample patterns had to be included. So that for multi-sampling, but technically apply to other things, or at least it could. DirectX 12 supports program custom sampling patterns. AMD has supported that since 2007 for a single pixel, 2011 for quad, so 2x2 pixel groups. That's actually how things are rendered. They're not rendered single pixels, they're rendered in these quads. NVIDIA started supporting it in 2014. And their MFAA technology uses it. MFAA is a piece of crap, though. But still, as AMD had that support for so long, it just went unused. DirectX 12 opened up the ability to do that in the API for DirectX. I think 12.1 actually demands support for it. Like, to have a 12.1 supporting GPU, it must support that, whereas at 12, it just was, I think it was still optional to say, hey, I'm DirectX 12 compliant. I think that was the case, but that presentation in the article are before 12.1. I seem to remember at one point with 12.1 reading that was something that they did. yeah, that's kind of it. I can get to the ranty thing. I would like to see this get a bit more complete before I stop. But yeah, I can give it a little bit longer. So we got a new developer diary for Titan Quest 2, which, great. I mean, I'm interested in Titan Quest 2. I haven't played it too recently. It's probably been a week or so since I played Titan Quest 1. But Titan Quest 1 is still a fun game. I'm enjoying going in there and spending the time in it and all that. But, man, some of the stuff they're talking about, it's like, these are not good changes to me. And it's just kind of funny to me for some of this because I will listen to different things with background noise while I'm working. And one thing that is talked about is how some video game journalists, technically I'm one, but there's greater nuance here that they don't necessarily talk about, but that's fine for background noise people. They don't need to. It would be nice if they did, but that's not what they need to do. But they'll talk about how you've got some journalists, video game reviewers, that complain about hard games like Souls-likes. And, I get their point. I really do get the point, the argument against some of these people that like, oh, you need to make it simpler, so you need to make it easier so it's more approachable, it's more accessible to everyone. It's like, I grant that, no, that's... I mean, there can be some things where it's like, no, that's just badly done. With these games where it's like, yes, you are hurting yourself, but I mean, it's kind of like the whole thing with Dolmen. Yes, Dolmen. I needed to stop and think that's that game, right? Where it's like, I accidentally found something that it's like, it didn't remove the challenge, it just let me approach a challenge differently, and it made the game so much more fun. So much more fun for me. But it is one of those, I know that Souls-like games aren't for me. I know that. And whenever if I would ever review a game that is Souls-like, and I think I technically have, besides Dolmen, it's like, I do try to appreciate that fact and just appreciate, therefore, what the quality of the game itself. Oh, did I run out of gold? Oh, no, because he wouldn't have done that. But there is this problem, though, with Souls games, is that because they have achieved popularity, despite being something that's really niche, various developers are like, oh, well, we're going to start pulling stuff in from that into non-Souls games. And it looks like they're doing that with Titan Quest 2 with two different things. One is, if you die, it will respawn enemies that killed you, and in the area around it. I don't know how larger area they're talking about for the area around, but it's like that's what they're doing. Why? I was like, that's not how Titan Quest 1 works. Okay? Titan Quest 1, you absolutely are able to, whittle them down. You just keep charging there, you die, you respawn, you come back, and it's like no enemies respawn with you. I don't know why they're making this change. It is something that you do kind of see in Souls-likes. Some stuff, by the way, I did also see people referencing Path of Exile. I have not played that for so many years, I cannot comment on any connection there. And hang on just a second, let me see. Last played January 29th, 2019, so we're talking about 5.5 years since I last started Path of Exile. Okay? Yeah. So hopefully they will get that built up, and then that will become a great haul. There should be enough of everything in it, by the way, to be that. It'll also be interesting to see if anyone gets stuck up there once this stuff is built. It's like, okay, once they do that, will they be able to... Yeah, I'll bet they can't access any of this other stuff now. Yeah, okay. That should do it. But yeah, so that shit does annoy me that they're doing that. Gonna have them respawning. But another thing that they're doing, this is what I'm far more pissed off by. How's it a spare room? Oh, the banners. The banners, that's right. Yes. Come on. There we go. Oh, wait. 8 banners. Alright. There's 4. Can't reach it? That's fine. So it is just those 8. Come on. No. Okay. Okay. But the other thing that they announced with it, that's like, this one really pisses me off, and this does feel more like the Souls-like, although when I'm seeing some people comment on it, apparently it is also what you find in Path of Exile, which doesn't excuse it, and I do agree with some of them, that some of the people that were saying, if this is just becoming a Path of Exile clone, they need to not do that. I mean, truly, you shouldn't do that. I mean, it's like Titan Quest already has well-established design to it. Titan Quest 2 should try to reflect that, not another game. You can learn from another game. But this was just... They don't know what they're doing, especially for how they wrote it. Which, to be fair, whoever wrote it might not have anything to do with the actual development and design. Might be only a marketing person. Okay. Yeah, let me just... They're changing the health potions to no longer be items, but equipment with a charge there. And this is what they wrote. This means that you'll never have to worry about sacrificing inventory space for stacks of potions, nor about whether you're able to reach the next checkpoint with your potion limit. Simply fight and deal enough damage to get more chugs. First off, right there, just referring to it as chugs annoys me. I mean, it just... You don't need to be this unprofessional, because it is unprofessional language, in my opinion. Okay, but I got my Great Hall now. Yay. Which also means... I just realized I forgot I should have moved stuff from here over there. Well, I can't still move this stuff. There. Okay. But we're gonna save it. I'm gonna show you something. I'm gonna launch up Titan Quest. I'm gonna show you something. Just as soon as this finishes saving. That's like, besides just the language of that, but just to make the point that they really have no idea what the hell they're doing. If, with making that change. Fortunately, just need to turn that on. Here. Fortunately, I've actually never, because I used to do Titan Quest for the streaming, and the hook for OBS is actually still there. So yes, I know. I said I'd be moving to another game. Briefly. I'm just going to show you one quick thing in it. And then I will continue ranting, potentially getting a lot more angry. Oh man, it was just... when I was thinking through what they were talking about and talking to myself a little bit about like what I'd say in this, I was just, it does anger me. It legitimately does anger me because it is such a dumb design and I can't excuse it. And by that I mean, well, like I was saying with the Souls-like stuff, I was like, I get when people say you shouldn't be complaining that we should, well, it actually doesn't need to be on Legendary, but in any case, I just want to, okay, it looks like it did hook it. Good. It's like, I get the whole, you can't complain. Okay, good. It's like a Souls-like game is Souls-like. Like leave us the Souls-like games for those that like Souls-likes. Don't say those need to be simpler so that more people can enjoy them. It's no, that they're meant for the people that are playing them. Yeah, okay, I get that. But this whole move to charges, and it's like, what are they trying to claim? That you don't have to worry about sacrificing inventory space for stacks of potions, nor about whether you can reach the next checkpoint with your potion limit. Okay? How many charges do you think these things are going to have? I'll bet 10 will be considered a lot. I have, right now, almost 1,500 potions there, and that's all it takes up. Well, at least for the health potions. There's also the energy potions here, the mana potions here, but still is. Like, this column alone, there's 5. There's 500 potions right there. Am I going to have 500 charges? Seriously, am I going to have 500 charges on one of those things? Because 5 is not that much, all right? And it's also, I'm saying, I've got this whole area here, which it's 5 by what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there's 60 here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's another 40 here. 80, 120. So there's 120 here. 120 spots here. And what was this again? What did I count at? 12 across? So that's 60 here. I mean, it's inventory is not that big a deal here. And it's also, oh no, I'm running out of space. Whatever do I do? Oh, I know. I just warp back. Sorry, I'm just, like, forgetting how to play the game. Oh no, I just need to warp back and then sell stuff. The trader's actually down here. And, sell stuff there. Or use this or that to go, or this to go to a place. Yeah, Chengren has it. Where I can access the caravan and drop stuff off that I'm not just selling. I mean, it's like, this is so not an issue. Unless they are going to severely limit your inventory. Even compared to that isn't much inventory. But it's still plenty. Okay? I mean, it's not like some games that would have many hundreds more slots. And it's also, when you consider how slot-based, some things, it's like they're always 4 slots tall. So that in there, and you can't turn them. So that takes up 4 slots, and then you don't always have something that can go in the 5th one beneath it. Like, there is stuff like that, but it still is. That's a lot of inventory space, even with this. And it's like, managing it is not that difficult. And they're like, oh, we're going to solve management for you. By having you no longer need to worry about putting potions in there. It's like, but it's not a problem. You're trying to solve a problem that doesn't exist. And you're probably going to make more problems, because, I mean, think about what they are saying here. Nor about, you don't need to worry about whether you are able to reach the next checkpoint with your potion limit. As I said, I'm guessing 10 charges will be a lot on one of those things. But with this, I could have, in one vertical column there, 500 health potions. I ain't running out of those before I hit a checkpoint. That is not happening. Okay? I mean, I have way more there than I need. Way more. Okay? And there's also the whole, I technically have an unlimited number of potions here. I mean, technically it's 100 times how many slots I have. I didn't count the slots, but there's no way I'm ever going to need as many as I can possibly hold, right? The thing is, as I play, and I don't need them, where it's like I'm dealing with the trash mobs. So stuff is being dropped. They're dropping health potions, but I'm not taking that much damage. So I don't need those health potions. I'm just building up a supply. I'm building up an inventory of them. With this, if there's a charge limit, any charge limit at all, which they've said there are charges, right? And you wouldn't be talking about charges there unless there's a limit. Just straight up, you will not talk about charges unless there's a limit. That means that there's a limit. That means that all that time that you're playing and you're just dealing with trash mobs, you're not taking much damage, you're going to hit that charge limit and then it is worthless. Okay? You are not going beyond that. I go beyond that. In Titan Quest 1, you go beyond that. That's easy because you just pick up more potions. You're putting it in more places. And how I mentioned that you've got, the item that's 4 tall, typically like a sword is that. 4 tall. What do you put in the one slot beneath it? Well, you can put a health potion in there. You can, but I was thinking more like, other items. That you don't necessarily find too many one slot sized items. There are, but you don't necessarily find that many when you're just going around. But potions, definitely, you could put there. You could have the entire bottom row just be health potions. Not a problem. You can easily do that. And then it's like, hey, that's still, what did I count in that first one? 12 slots? And the 3 bags on the right side you unlock as you play, but it still is, that's 12 slots there. That's 1,200 health potions that you could have there if you fill that all up. Are we going to have 1,200 charges on a health potion in Titan Quest 2? No way in hell. There is no way in hell we're going to do that. If there's a dozen, I will be surprised, because I'll bet 10 will be considered high. That 10 itself will be considered high. So, I mean, I'm just looking at some of this stuff, and it's just, there's also the whole, you're building up this inventory, and then you get to a place where suddenly you need it. Well, I've been building up to this, so I've got 100 potions. I'm good. I can handle this. It's really just a question of, can I use them at the right time? Because there was you can't just use them instantly. You use it, and then there's a cooldown before you use the potion again. I don't remember if this is some games, and I like this design. I think this is the best design for a health potion, is instead of it being just a full dump of health, it gives you some that's like, right away, like say 500 health, and then 100 health over per second for 5 seconds. Something like that, where it both give just a boost to your regen and some flat health. I like that design. I think that that's a good way to do it. I don't remember what Titan Quest is. I know it does health regen. It does boost that. I just don't remember if there's also a flat health on there as well. I just lost my train of thought a little bit. But it's like, timing that can be tricky, because like, I mean, you could miss time when you're using a health potion and then end up dying as a result. But it's like, but it's like you get into a situation where it's like, oh crap, I'm in desperate need of health, and I'm not necessarily doing much damage. I'm not necessarily killing my enemies because there's so many of them, or they're just that sufficiently overpowered compared to me. That's like, I need to build up a charge in order to have health to continue this fight. Or even I just made it through. I have no charges and I have low health. What do? In Titan Quest 2, for what they describe, it's either I run back, which is not fun. I either leave, stop playing effectively, because that's the only way I'm going to be able to get health back and get charges back. This isn't fun. I play a game to play a game. I don't play a game to run away. But it's like, that's exactly what you have to do, because what's the other alternative? Running into your enemies, so that you can attack them, so that you can deal damage to them. And hey, I'm dealing damage to them, now I'm getting charges. Oh, they just hit me, because it only take one hit from them, and now I'm dead. That charge is useless now, assuming you even got it. So yeah, and I blame this on Souls-likes. I'm blaming it on Souls-likes. Maybe it is Path of Exile, actually, that I need to blame. I don't know how influenced that may have been by Souls-likes. But it still is, I blame it on that stuff, where it's like, oh yeah, we can totally design this way. It's like, this isn't a Souls-like game. Titan Quest is not a Souls-like game. Yes, I just... And there's also one thing with Path of Exile. Yes, it's been 5.5 years since I've played that. But I did look it up a little bit. You have these flasks that recharge. I want to say I could have multiple in my inventory. I don't remember how many. I don't quite remember how they worked, though. Like, if it was you could have multiple in your inventory that would charge up, And so when you use them, maybe you need to swap them in your inventory, but it's like you don't have just one thing that then expends itself. And then you're basically just up shit creek without a paddle. I don't remember if it was quite like that. But it's also Path of Exile is going to be different because that, in part, is you're able to play that on just public servers, right? Like, there can be other people around you as you're playing. Titan Quest, yes, it does for multiplayer, but I don't. Titan Quest 1, at least, I'm pretty sure never supported a just public server. I could be completely wrong on that. I only started playing it well after that, and I have played with friends through multiplayer, but that was specific people then. That was a specific group. So that's different. But it's just, this is very annoying to me because, as I said, I'm not a Souls-like player. I know that. I can still appreciate a well-made game. Even if I hate it, even if I think that it's misbalanced to hell and back. I may talk about that then, but I know some of the stuff is no, it's misbalanced that way intentionally. But there's other things where it's like, no, it's misbalanced because they did it badly. Dolmen, they did various things badly in that. But it's just, this is a change where it's like, who are you serving? You're not serving Titan Quest players, because that is such a radical change. And it is radical, and to what benefit? What problem are you solving? Inventory isn't the problem, as I just showed you. It's like, I with all that inventory, and despite having the 15 slots to health potions, 10 slots to energy potions, I still will play the game and be like surprised. That's like, wait, it's still letting me pick stuff up? Because I'm going so far, and it's like I'm still picking stuff up because it keeps finding a way in there. Finding the right placement in the slot. So it's like, inventory management is not a problem. Don't try to solve that problem here. Not the character inventory. One thing that they did say that they're doing, and this I am glad about. Okay, I legitimately am glad about this. They did say that they are bringing back the caravan system, which is how you have like personal, player storage, not just on your character, but it can be stored there so you can go back. It's not in every location. That's one thing about Titan Quest that does annoy me, is you don't have access to the caravan everywhere that there's a waypoint. But they're gonna have that back, but they're going to make it where you can buy chests, and what it said was basically you can buy an unlimited number, that there's no limit there. In part because it's going to be a gold sink, which makes sense. I don't know if you may have caught it or not. I have like hundreds of millions of gold pieces in Titan Quest because I have no reason to spend it. I like very rarely. Okay, at the point I'm playing it, I am well past where I need to purchase gear, and also none of the gear available to purchase is anywhere near as good as what I find. So the majority of what I find, I end up just selling, because a lot of it I can't use. It either doesn't align with me, or I have better stuff already, or something else that's one of those I really dislike with Titan Quest, and various other games that like this as well. The heavy reliance on certain stats, and I don't know if it'll be like this in Titan Quest 2. They talk about some of it in the latest dev diary. But until like you actually see it, I'm not sure what I can think about it. But say I'm trying to get to equipping certain items that would be good upgrades for me. Like what I'm using now, I've been using for so freaking long on that character. It's definitely underpowered. Like I've got some stuff there where it's like 100 armor. I have stuff that's like 400 armor that it will give me, but I need to get my strength up. The thing is, that's a summoner build. I'm only building up strength to equip things. It's not natural to do that for a summoner build. But it's also, pets aren't based on any of your stats, so there's also that's kind of weird. But anyway, I hate that. If I remember correctly what they did in Marvel Heroes, they were like, yeah, we're not worrying about stats like that for gear. It's just, are you this level? Yes? Okay, you can equip it. Are you not this level? You can't equip it. Or it's like, hey, this is like Scarlet Witch's headband thing. I don't remember, headpiece, whatever you want to call it. Okay, she can equip that. No one else can. That makes sense. Hey, here's a new gun. Scarlet Witch doesn't use guns. Deadpool does. He can use guns. Cable uses guns. He can use it. That made more sense. Because it also meant you didn't have to worry. Now, true, I'm pretty sure you also couldn't invest points in strength versus intelligence. that wasn't an option in that game. But I do hate this whole thing with they basically design, some of the stuff is designed around you have to, the only way you'll have access to certain items where it's like, that takes 550 strength. The only way you could get that is if you've been exclusively focusing on putting points into strength, or you have other gear that gives you enough bonuses to strength to be able to do that. I hate that. Because that locks you in to certain gear for so freaking long. And it's like, I want to be able to vary my gear. I want to be able to put new things on that are better, but I can't, because if I do that, then I lose access to this other piece of gear that I don't have a replacement for yet. I mean, it's like, I hate that design. I don't know if they're going to do that to us or not with Titan Quest 2. It's possible they will. Nothing that they said there sways me one way or another. To know, it's just something I'm very concerned about. And going back a bit to the health potion stuff, because it is kind of related to this. It may end up, I mean, it's like there are ways to have that stuff balanced correctly. That's not a problem. I just don't trust them to do that, especially with the health potion stuff, because it's like, no, the system we have works. The system in Titan Quest 1 works. You don't need to change it. There is not any clear and obvious benefit to changing it. So it's like, defend that change to me, and I don't think you can, because you can't say, well, here's this problem that was solving. It's like, that's not a problem, though. So, but still, they might be able to do it correctly. And I think one thing, very critical, no freaking charges. Have it be unlimited. That's something that they actually did with Marvel Heroes. Because they did have a health item that you did pick up, the med kit. They got rid of that. It just had it where you would always be able to heal. But there was a timer on it. It's like, that's fine. The length of the timer depends. Also, they want to do affixes because in Titan Quest 2, because they're going to make it an item. It's like, okay, that's fine. But it still is. Don't have the charge limit. That's the only way you can say, hey, we're solving having to manage the potions in the inventory and not handicapping you by saying, hey, guess what? You only have so many charges and you're basically going to be screwed over in tough situations. I mean, it kind of gives me flashbacks to Borderlands, the pre-sequel, the Zarpedon fight, which was utter garbage. The whole game itself, Borderlands pre-sequel, is a piece of crap. Don't ever play that. Like, that's a whole 2 games I've ever recommended against playing. That's one of them. It is so terrible. But in that fight, you've got the fight for your life system in the Borderlands series, though I've not played 3 yet. I have it. I haven't played it yet. But in Fight for Your Life, when you are killed, you aren't killed outright. You fall to the ground, and then you can still, with your gun, fire. Because if you kill an enemy, you'll get back up. In the Zarpedon fight, the Captain Zarpedon fight, there's the boss, Zarpedon. She's very difficult to kill on her own. But there's also enemies around her, minions, which there need to be those minions, because how else are you going to get to fight for your life? How else can you succeed that? The problem is, those enemies, when you get them down low enough in health, they transform. And when they do that, they recover all of their health. I ended up abandoning that fight, literally doing every single side quest that was available to me. Coming back, and I still did not have the gear such that I could kill those things. Because they would always, I'd have to reload at the time that they'd be transforming, and they'd finish transforming before I could reload. So I had no ability to get past Fight for My Life. I clearly didn't have the health and defenses to just survive, so I didn't fall into that situation, and I didn't have the damage potential. Nothing was balanced correctly there, and it was balanced against me as far as the minions aren't really minions because of how they recover their health like that. I got lucky, finally, managed to kill a thing, and that's all I really needed. I just needed to kill one damn enemy to get me back up on my feet so I could finish off the boss. That's all I needed. But it still took me so freaking long, both just fighting it and then going out doing all the side quests and coming back. Which, doing all the side quests, I should not be overpowered. That's not the case. I was still underpowered as hell because it wasn't balanced correctly. And I just, that kind of thing where you I don't even think you had health. Yeah, no, you didn't have health items in that game. But that kind of fight for your life thing is like, hey, I need this charge. And it's, how do I get that charge? By killing an enemy. That's exactly what they've described there. But it's like, yeah, these enemies, though, are not easy to kill. So it doesn't help you in this situation. Why are you talking? So this is a good thing. I just... And that really is... Not only that stuff with the Zopdon fight, but it's also the respawn point is obviously outside of the boss arena. Yeah, that makes sense. But in order to get back, they actually have traps between the respawn and the arena. So it's also, you die, you now have to... You can't just run back in. You have to time it to go through the traps without being killed by them. It's like, what the hell is wrong with you? Why the hell would you ever do this? I was like, this is like, hey, you screwed up. Guess what? We're going to keep screwing you over. And just, if you know the movie Galaxy Quest, it's like going through the chompers to get back to the boss fight. What? The pre-sequel felt very, very heavily balanced around, oh, no one ever plays alone. Everybody plays with friends. Everybody has a friend that plays games with them. I don't. Screw you for ever designing a game that way. I mean, it's one thing if it's a game like Marvel Heroes, because that was a straight up MMO. Okay, that was. So now it's possible to always have somebody to play with. It might just be a random person, but that person can always be there. Okay, that's not the case with a Borderlands game, because it's like that squads of 4. That's not an MMO. So don't do that. Titan Quest 2, I'm hoping they're not going to be an MMO, because that's not what Titan Quest 1 is. So that would be such a radical change of genre. So you can't balance it as though there's always going to be somebody there. And let me tell you something else. Marvel Heroes, you can still do everything but the raids, which are all optional. You do everything else solo. And I did. I beat that game so many times. I think I had just about I'm not actually sure how many characters. I had a lot of characters, though, that I went through. And did, crap, what was it called? But a number of characters... you'd beat and then you'd beat the game and then you could reset them. Basically a new game plus with a character. I did that for so many of them because it was fun. The first one I actually did on, I was surprised I did that on, was Magneto. Because there were certain design elements to Magneto that I didn't necessarily care for. And I want to say that they either made a change to his abilities that worked out, it was more comfortable for me. Or it was just, I finally saw somebody talking about this is how you play him. And then it's like, oh... yeah, once you do that, so he's really powerful. Really, really powerful. But I mean, I did it with him, Scarlet Witch, Iron Man, War Machine. I don't think I ever did it with Hawkeye. I think I may have been trying to. Did I say Scarlet Witch? Storm. Did I do it with Miss Marvel? I don't remember. I'm trying to also remember what all characters I had. I think I did it with Spider-Man. Wolverine. Ghost Rider. I'm almost certain I did it with Ghost Rider. There was also one thing that they had, though, that I'd love to see used in Titan Quest 2. That would be fine. They had legendary items, and I will try to stop. So Marvel Heroes was genuinely such a good game. It sucks so much that died. I mean, it really, really sucks. And I don't know if those developers ended up... Gazillion shut down. Because it was basically a one-game studio. I don't know where those developers went, but I would love to know if they got together and made another ARPG like that. Mm-hmm. Anyhow, but they had one item, a slot for an item that it was for legendary items. But what was really, really neat about these is the way they worked is they gained experience along with you, as I recall. I don't think it was just on kills. I think it was actually experience. And to get them all the way up to the highest level took a lot. But these things could be freaking powerful. I'm trying to remember what they all were. There's like a trident one. But one of them was like the cosmic nullifier. So I barely used that one. But critical hits in a lot of games are based on, some roll the dice. Hey, you got a critical. So you'll have games like that have a stat for like a critical hit bonus, like increasing your chance of getting a critical hit. The Cosmic Nullifier was for brutalities, which were basically critical hits. So the Cosmic Nullifier, a lot of people love that because if you build that thing up, you could one-shot so much shit just because you would hit the brutal. You'd hit the brutality. Here, let me just see, because it's possible that some of the wikis and such are still up. Even though the game isn't. Okay. We do still have a fandom for it. Yep, okay. I don't remember if I got Doctor Strange leveled up that way. Anyhow, items. Man, this. Hang on. I think they were legendary. Maybe not. Oh, wait, no, maybe. Why is this? Just some of the formatting on the page makes it so hard to see. Okay. There was Excalibur, Norn Stones. I do remember the Norn Stones. Those were interesting because those would actually just give you bonuses to your attributes as you went. Gungnir, which is Odin's spear, and that was like the Cosmic Nullifier, but it was actually for crits, so it was a bit more accessible. The Macaron Crystal, that added a whole bunch of energy, so that was great on Juggernaut. Juggernaut was another one that I did actually completely bring him around to the gold level. What was nice with that is Juggernaut, and it also worked well on War Machine, because Juggernaut, his energy was his momentum, so as you moved, you built that up. The Macaron Crystal allowed that to be a lot greater, so if you could build up that momentum a huge amount, and then spend it all in an attack that would just devastate most anything. Neptune's Trident, I don't quite remember. Golden Bow of Apollo, I don't quite remember. Ultimate Nullifier, like I said. Oh, I've been saying Cosmic Nullifier. Ultimate Nullifier. Casket of Ancient Winters. I think I use that on Storm. Cosmic Control Rod. I use that on several. Warlock's Eye. I don't quite remember that one. And Shield of Perseus that they actually have a link for on this one. So that would give at rank 1 400, plus 400 defense, rank 2 plus 1000 health. Rank 3 was 10% reflect projectiles. Rank 4 was plus 150 tenacity. And then rank 5, Shield of Perseus has a 5% chance to turn enemies into stone. Okay? Yeah, I want to see. Okay, this might be better. Better thing. Okay. I found a different source that gives than a wiki that gives a lot more. So like Cask of Ancient Winters, plus 500 damage with area powers. Yeah, that's right. I loved that on like Scarlet Witch and Storm because I would abuse the hell out of it, out of the area stuff. 10% chance to slow targets, another plus 500 damage with area powers, plus 500 damage versus targets with slow stats. Great with Storm because she had her winter abilities that would slow things down. But rank 5, 5% chance on hit to summon a deadly snowstorm, dealing 5,000 damage twice per second for 5 seconds. Cosmic Control Rod, plus 600 damage on energy ratings, regenerate 500 health on enemy defeat, plus 600 critical rating on any energy power, gain 25 spirit when you defeat an enemy, and then plus 2 energy. That's one of the attributes, I should say. Excalibur, plus 750 damage range melee power. I used this on Colossus. Plus 1500 defense rating, plus 750 damage rating to melee, plus 700 critical rating. Then regenerate 300 health when you hit. Gungnir, plus 500 critical hit rating, so that's the chance of getting critical hit. 1500 critical damage rating, 500 critical hit, 1500 critical damage again. 5% chance on hit to enter Odin Rage, gaining 1000 brutal strike rating for 5 seconds. Hang on. Here, Ultimate Nullifier. Plus 2500 brutal damage rating, plus 2500 brutal damage rating, plus 2500 brutal damage rating, plus 2500 brutal damage rating. So through rank 1 through 4, you end up with a plus 10,000 brutal damage rating, and then a 1% chance on hit to nullify for 500,000 damage, 2-second cooldown. So 1% chance that when you hit an enemy, you will deal 500,000 damage. I'm saying these things were freaking awesome. Power Cosmic. Yeah, Silver Surfer, I also managed to gold him. 1,500 health when he hit... I should just stop. I know. But my point is that... Sorry, I'm just looking at some of these. Man, it was such a good game. It sucks so much that it fell apart. That they had to shut it down and all that. Oh, Northern Stones are different than I remember. The legendaries did get completely rebalanced at one point, though, so I guess that might be why. Anyhow, what's really neat about these is level required 1. Item grade 70. So 70 meant that these were the highest item grade. 70 was the highest item grade, at least for quite a while. But level required 1. So the idea is that you would take that when you replay on a character, you would take that with you. Like, you would put that on a character, play through it, and now, even though you're starting back at the beginning with, like, no gear, you may have this. So, yeah, I'm just trying to think, what would be... Because some of these you just bought. Some of them you had to find. You know what? Yeah, this one was, like, given away. How did you actually get it? Okay, it was just from one of the legendary events. Pot of Gold of Cassidy Keep. Rank 1, plus 10% XP. Great if you're starting a hero over. And you legitimately could get rank 1 just playing the hero all the way up to level 60. Like, from 0 to that. So if you put that on a character, by the time you would restart the character, you will have rank 1. Plus 10% rare item find. Plus 10% special item find. Plus 10 more credits per drop. And then... a 1% chance when you defeat an enemy to summon a lucky chest with a 20-hour cooldown. I mean, not that bad. Not that great, but not that bad. But it still is. That was awesome. If they had that in Titan Quest 2, I would be really happy, because that makes sense. Like, these were great, because they were a reason to keep playing. And it is also, it would bind... I'm pretty sure that these did bind 2 characters. So once you put them on a character, and it, like, started gaining levels, it was... you couldn't use it on another character. But I mean, there were a lot of characters, so it's... Hang on, I'm just trying to see... 63 that they had. Some of these I don't quite remember. Now, I think I did have Angela. I know I had Ant-Man. Beast, I don't recall. Black... Oh, it's... Really? I don't remember Black Bolt. Black Cat, I think I did have. Black Panther, I'm pretty sure I did have. Black Widow, I know I had. Blade, I don't think I got. Cable, I did. Captain America, I did. Captain Marvel, I did. Carnage, I probably did. I just don't quite remember. Colossus, yeah. Cyclops, yeah. Cyclops, I didn't enjoy much. Daredevil, I definitely had. Deadpool, I had. Doctor Doom, I took up to gold as well. Yeah, he was fun. He was very powerful. Doctor Strange, I know I had. I don't remember how much it did. Elektra, I don't quite remember. Emma Frost, I didn't care much for. I think I did gold her, though. Gambit, I'm pretty sure I golded. Ghost Rider, I know I golded. Green Goblin, yes, I did gold. The enemy, the villains were actually kind of powerful, kind of fun. Hawkeye, I'm not sure if I did. Hulk, I don't know if I got gold. Human Torch, I think I did. Iceman, I definitely did. Invisible Woman, I don't recall. Iron Fist, I didn't care much for. Iron Man, I did. Jean Grey, I did. Juggernaut, I did. Kitty Pryde, I know I played. I don't remember how far I went. Loki, again, I'm not sure how far I went. Same with Luke Cage. Magic, I don't remember. Magneto, I did. Moon Knight, I did. Mr. Fantastic, I don't quite remember. Nick Fury, I don't know if I had. Nightcrawler, did I? I don't remember. Nova I had and did gold. Psylocke I golded. Punisher I don't recall having. Rocket Raccoon I had, I don't think I did gold. Rogue I golded. Scarlet Witch I golded. She-Hulk I may have. Silver Surfer I know I did. Spider-Man I'm pretty sure I did. Squirrel Girl I did. Squirrel Girl was silly. And I know I'm just kind of continuing on. I mean, it's like Marvel Heroes, like I said, it's legitimately such a good game. It's such a shame that we lost it. Star-Lord, I think I did gold. Storm I definitely did. Taskmaster I did. Taskmaster was an interesting one because he was like balanced well for starting. He was also complex, but it's like he was well balanced. But when he hit like endgame, I didn't find him to be that powerful at that point. Like jack of all trades, master of none kind of thing for him. Thing, I don't remember if I golded Thing. Thor, I golded. Ultron, I think I did gold. Ultron was not as good as I would have liked him to be. Venom, I golded. Vision, I don't recall. War Machine, I definitely golded. Winter Soldier, I don't think I did. Wolverine, I probably did. X-23, I don't recall. I don't recall golding. I also don't recall how many of these I had. But, no, I mean, it's just, they did so many things right. They really did so many things right. Such a shame. But yeah, so if you're going to take things from other games for something like Titan Quest 2, it's like try to make sure you're taking from Titan Quest 1 first. But take from a game like that, like Marvel Heroes. That was a legitimately very good game and is very much of the same genre of Titan Quest 1. Path of Exile, yeah, technically is also the same genre. True, both have the MMO aspect to it that Titan Quest 1 is not. So you do need to keep that in mind. But I guess when we put it, Marvel Heroes was meant to be fun to play. Titan Quest, meant to be fun to play with some challenge. Like, there's definitely intentional challenge there. Path of Exile, I want to say, is much more we want to challenge you. But some of the stuff like the respawning of enemies, I don't know if that is the case. Well, that would have to be the case for an MMO. But with the health potion stuff, I'm not sure what that is for Path of Exile. But it's like, if you're gonna borrow from Marvel Heroes for that one, that did it much better. Where it's like, yeah, we're not gonna have you having to stack up potions anymore. Med kits anymore. Guess what? You just have an unlimited number. It's just on a timer. That's a much better solution. And it's actually am I going to make it to the next checkpoint? It solves that. Charges don't solve that. They make it worse. Anyway, I know I went on and on and on. But it's just, I said I would be ranting because it's so stupid what they're doing there. But it's also, they might be paying attention to people complaining. Not that I think anyone will overhear this, but I know I saw people complaining in the Steam forum. Maybe they'll see some of that and realize, okay, yeah, we'll change that. We didn't realize that people cared that much, and I think I'm done now. All right. See you next time when I will still be in Going Medieval, and I'll see about making a bard now that I have a great haul. And I may also like really make that one thing into a library. Here, let me. All right. I'm just trying to. Yeah, this is actually the better place to put it. Come on. There we go. I'm just like adding the note. Work on making the formal library now that we have a great haul. So that is specifically something I want to work on. Hey, were there any other things I wanted to? Oh yeah, just going back a little bit, how I was complaining about the different how it's like you get locked into certain sets of gear because that's the only like, oh, I want to equip this, but in order to do that, I'd lose the stat bonus I need for this other piece of gear that I don't have a replacement for yet in that whole situation. What I really hate about that, and this is the case in Titan Quest 1, is it feels so much like I need to min-max, but it's like I don't want to be a min-maxer in this game. I want to just, hey, new gear, cool, put it on. It's like, that's the experience I want more so. Like, I want to decide, is this gear genuinely better than what I have? Like, are the bonuses there what I want? Not if I put this on, I lose this stuff. I don't want that to have to be the decision. I don't want to have to min-max like that. So please don't do that to us. But, as I said, chance on nobody will listen to this that it would matter for. But, yeah. Anyway. Blah, 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 blah. See you next week.